A beautiful evening it is. We're live at the hill in Pocket Seal Highlands, Harare, the capital city. This is a live broadcast of the Sunday edition. First day of the month of October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness. Hope you take time to get yourself screened this month.
Indeed, it is a very good evening, a very important message coming through from Leanne, the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Make sure you go get yourself screened. It doesn't matter if you're male, because breast cancer also affects our male counterparts, so it is important that everyone takes care of their health, especially in this month. Noble Mawungwa gives us the bulletin in sign language. Let's take a look at the stories that we're leading with.
In tonight's edition, the second edition of the Zimbabwe Economic Development Conference 2023 kicks off in Victoria Falls.
Some of the features to expect on Sunday edition. In An African feature, we look at the life of Hollywood-based Zimbabwean actor, singer and producer Tongai Arnold Chirisa.
In our This and That feature tonight, a Mtapa man's craftsmanship takes query by storm.
Tafaraj Kumira delves into the men's workshop.
Indeed, and much later in Sports Buzz, Honorable Kirsty Coventry inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame.
Great news for brand Zimbabwe, Leanne. The minister, they're continuing to put Zimbabwe on the map. A warm congratulations to you. Those are the stories that we're leading with tonight. Let's take a look at our main news.
In our first report tonight, President Emmerson Mnangagwa says a lot of work lies ahead for the country to ensure that it continues on the food secure path.
The head of state, who is also ZANU-PF First Secretary, said this as he addressed the first session of the Central Committee after the country's general elections. Josephine Mugiyo gives us more.
As the ZANU-PF Party Central Committee members convened for their first meeting, the opening speech by President Mnangagwa did not only touch on politics but delved into issues pertaining to food security and growth of the rural economies. The past few years have seen the country achieve a significant success on the path to achieving food security. As he addressed the Central Committee members this Saturday at the ZANU-PF Party headquarters in Harare, President Mnangagwa said much work needs to be done to ensure continued success in the agriculture sector.
Under the Second Republic, we have scored commendable and unprecedented successes as a party. Due to our comprehensive and transformative policies, the agriculture sector is on a growth trajectory. We have realized both household and national food security in our country. However, a lot of work lies ahead of us. We must further consolidate this position by ensuring that we continue to be a nation that is able to feed itself in spite of climate change. So far, the distribution of inputs under the Pfumvudza Itwansa program is already underway, while dam construction and irrigation development are ongoing.
President Mnangagwa also emphasized that serving the people remains the key preoccupation of his government, as he buttressed the need to ensure rural communities continue to be included in economic development projects.
The Presidential Board drilling program, covering 35,000 villages, has gathered momentum. No village will be left behind. This program will see increased production and productivity across all our 35,000 villages. Our ZANU-PF party members should be mobilized to take part in rural industrialization to end poverty, improve incomes at the grassroots level, and lift many into prosperity.
A number of key road rehabilitation and construction projects were initiated under the Second Republic, and President Mnangagwa said work will continue to fix the country's road network.
The transport and infrastructure development projects we undertook during the first term of the Second Republic are there for all to see. Outstanding works will be quickly completed and the new projects rolled out in all provinces. I'm aware that the state of some road networks in various provinces needs attention. These will be attended to.
The ZANU-PF party will soon hold its 20th national conference, and the party's first secretary and president said focus must now turn to the crucial gathering, which will, among other issues, discuss programs and projects that improve the livelihoods of the people. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
The second edition of the Zimbabwe Economic Development Conference kicked off today in Victoria Falls with calls to explore new ways to attract finance for the infrastructure and climate change mitigation programs.
For Zimbabwe to bask in the glory of an upper middle income society by 2030, there is need to fine-tune internal and external resource mobilization strategies to fund infrastructure gaps, mitigate climate change and other essentials. These were some of the deliberations that took center stage at the first day of the second edition of the Zimbabwe Economic Development Conference, ZEDCON, this Sunday.
We should establish a voluntary carbon market for Zimbabwe, with the reasons that the international market does not adequately capture the local relevance or the local issues like alignment to Vision 2030, alignment to the national goals of Zimbabwe. So in order for the policy that has been set by government so far, especially the SI 150, for it to be responsive enough, we need something that has been created by our own people. So that means we also need models like cooperative models, where we are able to make cooperatives go into this kind of activities in order to put in capital into climate change mitigation and adaptation.
And the only way forward currently is with the private sector, meaning you have development partners on one side and the private sector on the other side. So in other words, if a private sector takes a project, like for example, renewable energies which are fed into industrial parks, or a railway system which is purely private, then development partners and the banks of development partners like our bank, the European Investment Bank, can potentially finance that.
Government also highlighted the need to explore new financing models, leverage private capital, and create new partnerships between government and the private sector.
Upscaling domestic resource mobilization initiatives remains critical in order to adequately fund NDS1 programs and projects during the second half of the National Development Strategy period.
The three-day conference is being attended by representatives from the private sector, government departments, the academia, and the diplomatic community. Tichao Nakurewa, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
The Midlands province is leading the pack in the projected wheat output yield per hectare for this year's wheat season, with the province anticipating an average of 7 tons per hectare against the national average of 5 tons per hectare. Let's get that report from Tafara Chikomira.
The Midlands province has been singled out as having practiced the best agronomic practices in this year's winter wheat season, with the province expected to make significant contribution towards the national output target of 420,000 tons. Experts say though the sporadic rains received across the country last week have affected the winter wheat crop, particularly in the southern region, these showers will have insignificant effects to the national output target as the harvesting of the crop is progressing well.
Kita, I think the situation will be good, but for Zolani and Chisumbanje, because of the amount of rainfall, we might have some losses if it doesn't get hot very quickly. But so far so good, there's nothing to fear in terms of these rains, because we also see that the temperatures are not forgiving at all.
Government will continue to put in place measures to ensure that the country is secure on food and nutrition cluster.
99% of the people in your provinces are in rural areas where they daily act their living from agriculture. It is agriculture that will change their circumstances. So it is agriculture that we must focus on in order to uplift the generality of our people towards Vision 2030.
The Midlands province is playing its complementary role by moving with the speed in the implementation of government programs and projects. I therefore humbly, Minister, appeal, Minister Masuka, To Minister Masuka, support towards our borehole drilling programs and other components of Agriculture 8.0 model to ensure the whole of economy and society, which leaves no one and no place behind.
Zimbabwe to revise upwards the winter wheat target from 85,000 to 90,000 hectares this winter wheat season, up from the 80,000 hectares planted in previous season, as the country eyes foreign markets on the surplus to be accrued in this season. Tafara Chikomira, ZBC News, Gweru.
And now still in farming, Zimbabwe's agro-input companies have endorsed climate change seed varieties during the 2023-2024 summer cropping season to help farmers achieve sustainable yields. That report next.
With input procurement for the 2023-24 summer cropping season at an advanced stage, agro-input stockists are focusing on mitigation strategies as Zimbabwe is projected to receive normal to below normal rainfall. Seedco Group Head of Agronomy, Mrs. Wendy Mazura, revealed that the rolling out of climate change tolerant input varieties is in motion.
We don't lose hope as farmers because farming is a business, farming is a livelihood. So we want to encourage our farmers to establish a wide range of crops this season to spread the risk of crop failure, particularly if they are doing rain-fed agriculture. And we want to talk to the farmers to establish, guided by the agroecological region in which they are growing their crops. Region 1, Region 2 and Region 3, we encourage the establishment of maize, different maize varieties that mature at different times so that you can also get value out of it.
Agri-Seeds Sales and Marketing Director Mr. Ivan Craig spoke on embracing varieties that takes into account unpredictable weather patterns.
This summer coming season, and you find that farmers are ready, and as we encourage everybody else, we have to come in with early land preparation. As you can see here, this field here is properly prepared where it is ribbed, deep plowed, disc and then rolled, and then this is one way of land preparation, which can also mitigate the El Nino, which is being forecast.
Zimbabwe Farmers Union ZFU Secretary General Mr. Paul Zakaria says climate change mitigation inputs can also be sustained through massive irrigation investments.
We need to make sure that we utilize the moisture that we have to the fullest extent. That is doing things on time.
In a related development, the agro-input firms this weekend held a meeting with farmers regarding the need to embrace seed varieties that can thrive in light of climate change. The government has set a target of over 2 million hectares of maize in the 2023-24 summer cropping season to consolidate food and nutrition security gains. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Search efforts for the trapped miners in the Bay Horse mining collapse strategy are continuing, with 4 bodies having been retrieved so far.
According to mine blaster Hussein Piri, who is leading the search team, there are 6 visible lifeless bodies trapped in large boulders some 300 meters underground, with one of the bodies crushed.
Then kana isina kureza takutumira majegi opinda pasi tonojega dombo racho tokwanisa kubuditsa uyo ari pokutanga. Tikabuditsa ari pokutanga vese atakuwabuditsa. Because main issue yevanhu vatiri kupinda navo vari kuti vakaona uyu munhu ari apa, saka kuti vadarike vaende kumberi vari kutya. Saka toda kuti tikabuditsa uyu togona kuenda mberi unotora variko. Ipapo tisina kujega dombo rekuti tiende kumberi unotora variko tinogona kukwanisa. Asi kuti tizotsika uyu munhu tichienda kumberi kune tichisiya uyu kumashure hazvibodi.
Mashonaland West Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Marian Chombo, visited the mine this Sunday and consoled the bereaved families before appealing for large-scale mining entities to chip in and expedite the search efforts.
Ndambotaura kuti nematambudziko nechiitiko chakaitika pano, zvinhu zvatava tisina kuronga, asi kuronga kwaMwari. Ma-accident akadai aya hazvisiri chinhu chinotambirika, nekuti zvinoya tisina kuzvigadzirira. zvaakuda mimwe mishina. Iyi mishina iyoyi tiri kukumbira na Zimplants mamaino ari padhuze nesu vakati kurei. Tiri kukumbira Pixton nana Golden Valley kuti vauye vatibatsirewo kuburitsa hama neshamwari dzedu dziri pasi ipapapo. Asi ndiri ipapo ndoda kukurudzira, ndinoziva kuti tiri ngechitsvaga chouviri, ngatikoshese upenyu hwevanhu. Zvesafety zvakakosha stereki. Kuti kana tichiita mining yedu tine small scale miners vakati wandei, ngatikoshese upenyu hwemunhu.
Afroshin Chrome Smelting Company, which operates in the district, has already chipped in with experts and machinery to speed up search operations.
We are providing some of the pump and the fuel pump to extract the water and some of the jack as well, because they said there are a huge stone down there, so we're trying to help them to rescue the rest of lives.
Meanwhile, police will release the names of the deceased miners this Monday, including a report on the accident. Tambao Gagora, ZBC News, Chegutu East constituency.
Sad development in that report. Now, over 50,000 rogue motorists have been arrested, with more than 20,000 vehicles having been impounded in the ongoing blitz to tame the lawlessness on the country's roads.
The ongoing Tame the Traffic Jungle Blitz, which was launched on the 12th of September 2023, has seen a total of 59,377 rogue motorists being arrested, with 19,137 vehicles having been impounded. Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati said the operation will continue until sanity is restored.
The Zimbabwe Republic Police confirms that Operation Tame the Traffic Jungle is continuing. And as the operation continues until further notice, there is need for all Zimbabweans to observe the law for the safety of travelers, for the safety of the country in general.
He added that unregistered impounded vehicles will not be released.
We have got nearly 1,300 vehicles which have been accounted for by the police so far. And we will not release these vehicles until the owners follow the set procedures in terms of the Vehicle Registration Licensing Act. So definitely any vehicle which is not displaying number plates will be impounded on the country's roads.
Other stakeholders involved in the blitz aimed at ensuring that vehicle owners comply with the requirements of the law include the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe, the Vehicle Inspectorate Department, the Insurance Council of Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe National Roads Administration, and the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The ZANU-PF Chief Whip Honorable Pupurai Togarepi is advising all ruling party members of parliament that there will be a caucus meeting on Monday, the 2nd of October at the party headquarters in Harare. Members are expected to be punctual for the meeting, which will commence at 2:30 in the afternoon. Now, news coming through from our courts. A 54-year-old man from Wesley, Harare, who allegedly exposed his 10-year-old niece to pornographic material before sexually abusing her, appeared at the Harare Magistrates Court on charges of rape.
In a case of suspected child sexual exploitation, a 54-year-old man from Harare's Wesley suburb forced his 10-year-old niece to watch pornographic videos with him before sexually abusing the child. The accused allegedly abused the 10-year-old multiple times between July and September this year. It is alleged that he took advantage of the girl when she went to his bedroom to borrow his phone she wanted to use for schoolwork or to watch cartoons. The court heard that the 54-year-old would then play pornographic videos on the phone and force the child to watch the videos with him before he raped the girl. It is further alleged that sometimes he took pictures of the girl's private parts. The alleged sexual abuse was known after the girl's mother saw the pictures and interrogated her. The child narrated how she was being sexually abused by the 54-year-old uncle. A report against him was filed with the police, leading to his arrest. If convicted, a child molester now gets a minimum mandatory sentence of 15 years, with the longest a convicted rapist can get is life imprisonment. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
From the courts now to the Midlands province, farmers have adopted the new strategies of growing early maturity crops and small grains as a way of mitigating against the ravages of the expected El Nino-induced weather pattern. Up next.
Located some 55 kilometers west of Mvuma town is village head Chigobera area in Chirumanzu, where Sekuru Chimunu resides. With radio as his source of information, the Chimunus never miss a program which gives them insights on the appropriate ways of farming in preparing to deal with the challenges associated with climate change.
tatofamba chaizvo nechirongwa pose patarima tukisa mao chinovando inobata nekuchengetedza mvura totokurudzira varimi vose kuti murimi wose ngaarima achitevedzera nzira dzedu.
Midlands Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Owen Nwe, who is on a whirlwind tour launching the climate-proof Pumvuza Intwasa program in every district across the province, says the issue of food and nutrition security is government's #1 priority.
I have since scheduled to cover all districts in the Midlands province as we seek to ensure people receive all required inputs before the start of the rain season. My office will receive daily updates of beneficiary to ensure monitoring and supervision of the input distribution in the Midlands province. Comrades and friends, the new dispensation has capacitated agricultural extension officers with motorbikes and tablets to improve efficiency and effectiveness in the course of their duties.
Zimbabwe is on course to reclaim its continental breadbasket status after recording food surplus year after year since 2020, thanks to the various government intervention measures. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Chirumanzu.
Zimbabwe rolls out the annual anti-sanctions campaign this month, with focus being on domestic resource mobilization to counter the effects of the illegal embargo on socio-economic development. That report from John Nandara.
The 1st of October marks the beginning of the Anti-Sanctions Month, a build-up to the Anti-Sanctions Solidarity Day, which was declared by SADC and is observed on the 25th of this month. The day was set aside to express the country and region's disapproval of the illegal sanctions imposed on Zimbabwe. Citizens Against Economic Sanctions Executive Director Mr. Martin Jarare traces the history of the embargo.
Just that action of taking the land from the white people into our hands and distributing to the masses gave the British, the Americans, or the white imperialists a very big, hateful stance towards Zimbabwe. They said, because you have taken the land from us, we are now sanctioning you. In 2001, they drafted what we call the Zidera Act, what is a Zimbabwe Democratic Recovery Act of year 2000. They were saying, because of this act, we are saying the people of Zimbabwe can no longer access, the financial help that we used to get from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, all the Bretton Woods institutions.
The general citizenry has already shown their disapproval of the illegal sanctions which militates against the country's economic growth.
Ama-sanctions abisela ngamuva ingqubekela phambili. So thina njengezakhamuzi njengabahlali beZimbabwe sithi ama-sanctions asiwafuni kawahambe ngoba abulala umkhonomi wethu. And ama-sanctions lawa abuya illegally engekho emthethweni. That's why sisithi thina ngahambe.
Tinokurudzira chaizvo kuti kudai tagona kubatana muno mukati menyika muno kuti tibatane tikwanise kurwisa ma-sanction aya kuti abude tigone kugara semagariro akaita dzimwe nyika.
Despite the sanctions, Zimbabwe has sought other investment avenues that include domestic resource mobilization, which have resulted in infrastructural development and investments in other sectors such as mining and agriculture. The Anti-Sanctions Day was adopted by the 39th SADC Summit that was held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, where members designated the 25th of October of each year as the Day of Solidarity with Zimbabweans against the illegal sanctions imposed on the country by the West. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
It's time for us to take a look at I'm an African feature. Up next. Based Zimbabwean actor, singer, and producer Tongai Arnold Chirisa has made a name on the global entertainment scene. In our I'm an African feature, we celebrate an outstanding figure on the international film stage.
So you've been working with your ex, a man who nearly ruined your life, for what, months now? And you didn't think it was important to tell your fiance, and then you go ahead and decide to use his money to pay for the house that we are supposed to raise our family in.
Born on the 8th of August in 1981, Chirisa honed his acting skills through stage performances and local productions. It did not take long for his undeniable talent and charisma to attract the attention of professionals in the arts sector, propelling him towards international stardom. Despite initially considering a path in the hospitality industry, Chirisa followed his passion for acting and fearlessly embarked on a journey to make a mark in the industry. His eureka moment came in 2003 when he starred as Detective Trevor Davies in Zimbabwe's first soapie, Studio 263.
Studio 263, well, it's the place to be. There's no other place me I would try to be.
This paved the way for his debut film appearance in Blood Covenant, followed by other roles in films like Cousin Brother and Evil in Our Midst. Chirisa went on to play the lead role in the film Tanyaradzwa, and his exceptional performance earned him a Film and Television Award for being the best actor. Seeking new opportunities, Chirisa relocated to South Africa in 2006, where he worked on various film projects including Diamonds, Skin, Robinson, and Mrs. Mandela. The revered actor gained widespread recognition in 2008 when he played the role of Hercule in The King of Kuvikiland in Leon Schuster's film Mr. Bones 2, Back from the Past. Chirisa is on record saying he nearly lost the role owing to his physical appearance, but through determination, he worked on his physique and ultimately secured the jackpot, cementing his success in the film industry. In 2009, Chirisa took a bold step and moved to Hollywood, where he proved his mettle so much that his talent caught the attention of international audiences, leading to his appearance in popular productions such as NCIC Los Angeles and the NBC international television series Crusoe.
My character on the Jim Gaffigan show, he's very upbeat, always smiling, just happy to be alive. And the fact that he's in New York, it's a new experience, and he's bringing the African Zimbabwean, heartfelt smile and just the temperament to a very cold city.
He also featured on commercials, which increased his visibility in the industry. Chirisa added another accomplishment to his repertoire in 2015 after landing a role in the American television comedy series The Jim Gaffigan Show, which premiered on Comedy Central. The Zimbabwean actor showcased this versatility most recently when he starred in the highly anticipated film The Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, lending his voice to the character Cheetor.
I can't believe I'm voicing Cheetor. My mind is still kind of like piecing these things together, so I'm just very honored and blessed to be a part of this.
He's also a talented singer and released his single Usacheme in 2017, which features Tammy Moyo, and he also featured on R&B sensation Tia's 2003 hit, Boy You Got to Know. Some of his accolades include the National Merit Award for being the best actor at the 2004 edition of Film and Television Awards, and the 2022 NAMA for being an outstanding artist in the diaspora. He was also nominated for the prestigious Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award in the drama category in 2017. Chirisa's illustrious career exhibits his dedication to excel as an actor, from his early theater days in Zimbabwe to his current presence in Hollywood, where he continues to captivate audiences with his talent, versatility, and commitment to his craft.
You cannot help but notice his accent, Yvonne.
Really?
I saw you glued.
No, but seriously, of all the things, your takeaway was his accent.
Absolutely. It's Hollywood International. Right.
Anyway, on a serious note, hey, let's talk about Studio 263, how it has given us these legends. Whom do you remember?
It has Chinopona Katsandi, radio presenter.
And we also have Honorable Tatenda Mabetero, now the Minister of ICT.
Wow, look at that.
Exactly. And now Tongai doing the things on the Hollywood arena.
Hollywood, like we said, international level.
Yes.
Well, do take part on that conversation on our Facebook page. It'll be live ZBC News Online. We'll be back shortly after this.
Transserv has something exciting for civil servants. Civil servants can pay in installments of up to 12 months for genuine motor spares above $30, like batteries, tires, shocks, and service kits on zero deposit. Make a wise investment to safeguard the value of your car. Visit any Transserv shop nationwide with a copy of your ID, SSB payslip, and 3 months bank statement. Transserv, Zimbabwe's leading automotive solution.
The Research Council of Zimbabwe, in collaboration with the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Innovation, Science and Technology Development, hosts the National Research, Science, Technology and Innovation Conference at the Harare International Conference Center on 5 October 2023 from 0700 hours to 10:15 hours. All ministries, government departments, agencies, research institutes, research councils, institutions of higher learning, industry, researchers and academia are invited to attend. To confirm your attendance, please contact Mrs. Linda Goredema Kembo at lndkembo@rcz.ac.zw and Mrs. Rumbidzai Kuora at rkuora@rcz.ac.zw or on telephone numbers 0242304733 or 787. Cell phones 0772313252 or 0782247747 and 0775192903 by 3 October 2023.
The ZANU-PF Secretary for Women's Affairs, Honorable M.M. Chinomona, Deputy Secretary, Comrade Jay Ngule, and the entire Women's League extends heartfelt congratulations to Mrs. Virginia Mabiza on her appointment as the first female Attorney General of the Republic of Zimbabwe. The recognition and elevation of a woman to such a prestigious position by His Excellency President Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa is an incredible milestone that deserves a spotlight celebration. Mrs. V. Mabiza, may God bless you with strength and inspiration in your professional growth.
You're still watching Sunday Edition. Thank you for staying with us now. This and that news from my home, Gweru, where a man from there has earned the moniker Mr. Speaker say due to his exploits in the craftsmanship. Now he's the talk of the city of progress. This and that feature. Our Midlands Bureau Chief Tafaraj Kumra delves into that man's workshop, and this is what he found out.
Behold, Mr. Speaker say is here. He might not be occupying the revered chair of Speaker of the National Assembly, but 42-year-old Bernard Chikwaba's expertise in assembling radio speakers has earned the moniker Mr. Speaker say. Never mind the fact that he has not gone through formal training, Chikwaba exudes confidence and seems not to have any match in his craft.
Yangovara sound saka ndiri kumaraini ndiri mupana nditori nerimwe box rakatogadzira box respeaker ndiri mupana saka pese paingorira sound ndaiwanikwa apo saka ndofunga kuti zvinhu zvanangokura zviri mandi ndichingozvida ine ndiri kuchikoro ndaita art but sezvo zvandaita zvemusic handina zvandakamboendera kuchikoro ini, but vachona vakaenda kuchikoro vari kutoya kunge kutobvunza kuti bhozi especially savanapengi vanotokutaura ivavo vakaenda kuchikoro kwazvo, but zvavanoita mazvi kutoti vanodownloada paindaneti madesigns atori nemadimensions votoya nawo kwandiri vototi chamatora kuti utibuditsirwe chinhu ichi intotovabuditsira.
He has his fair share of admirers, dominated by ghetto youths, some of whom are now working under his table.
Ngatitambirei kure nemadrugs, titsvage zvokuita, plus kana une chauri kuita usadzoke kumashure, because zvinhu zvauri kutofunga iwewe, because munhu anokwanisa kukudzosera kumashure kuti shamari zvauri kutanga izvi zvakambozviita, but iwewe kana wafunga kuita zvauri kuita usadzoke kumashure.
I personally came from Harare where there's no opportunities. I was unemployed for a very long time. I finally found a job, the salary wasn't working, but here I've learned with my knowledge and experience, I'm starting my own things, and that's all because of Mr. Ben.
Vachitiburitsa mumastreets umu vamwe vedu used to be taita zvemadrugs, but ndivari kutibatsira kuti tikwanise kupinda mugwara rakanaka.
Just like in any craft, his wish is to unlock funding to expand his empire, which is already serving the community through youth empowerment. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
Now we bring you back home to Harare. Sunbiz up next. Development agencies have endorsed Zimbabwe's industrialization roadmap on the back of milestones achieved during the past 3 years.
Zimbabwe's industrialization policy is on track, as evidenced by the upward growth trajectory. United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO country representative Mr. Tichaona Mushayandebo spoke on plans to support Zimbabwe's industrialization policies.
As the UN, would like to respond positively in support government's demand-driven request for what we call a program for country partnership for industrialization. This is an instrument which usually is led within the UN by UNIDO, but is supported by other UN agencies.
The United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, UNECA, Economic Affairs Officer, Mr. Oliver Maponga, explains the importance of development agencies on Zimbabwe's industrial growth agenda.
Zimbabwe is one of our 11 member states that we serve, and they approached the Commission seeking support to review and develop a new industrial policy recently, as well as develop national local content thresholds for the fertilizer, packaging, and pharmaceutical sector. So we responded to that request.
According to industry statistics, capacity utilization in the manufacturing sector is projected to reach over 70% this year as production continues to increase with more investments flowing into the factories. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Stakeholders in the construction industry say the sector is poised for growth, given the support they are getting from government through the rolling out of bankable projects.
The government has identified infrastructure development as one of its key enablers to economic development, and players in the construction industry say the Second Republic has been very supportive, hence the sector is poised for growth. Members of the Construction Industry Federation of Zimbabwe, who were in Masvingo for their annual congress, said government has been prioritizing local companies on major projects such as roads rehabilitation, dam construction, among others.
We are witnessing a tremendous growth, although we estimate it to be around 25% by the end of the year. This is due to the government's mantra of Nyikwa Inowakanene Wayo. I mean, we've all seen what has happened on the Byte Bridge Road. It's all local contractors.
Back then, it used to be a male-dominated industry, which have now found space to accommodate us. And when we look at women, we also look at our youth.
government adopted a deliberate policy to prioritize local contractors. However, they must also be in a position to identify projects and propose to government, hence contributing to economic development.
Private money will come in, and this is where the contractors come in. They can either mute that project, conceptualize it, raise funding, propose to government, propose even the level of payments that they require from citizens.
Masvingo province is proud to be associated with Cyprus, as the province is looking for infrastructure developers who incorporate green building technologies.
The local construction industry players have shown ability to undertake huge projects such as the Harare-Masvingo Bay Bridge Road and roads under the Emergency Roads Rehabilitation Program, as well as housing projects, among others. Messi Bof, ZBC News, Masvingo.
Talking about frequencies in our science and technology feature, up next. A 13-year-old student at Erimapol International High School in Zhishavane has designed an affordable and efficient radio frequency identity lock, the RFID, for home and commercial use. And now we get more from Courage Boucher in our science and technology feature. Next.
The introduction of innovation hubs and the Education 5.0 model at learning institutions is paying dividends after a 13-year-old student at Erimepo International High School in Zhishavane designed an indigenous, efficient and affordable radio frequency identity lock, RFID. Putting theory into practice, Tafara Masiko has combined basic electronics and coding to come up with the programmed lock which blocks unknown users from entering a secured area. The RFID lock uses radio waves to identify undesirable objects, including human intruders, from a distance without making any physical contact.
After school, I hope to be a robotics engineer. This is why I am building all of this. So this is a security system that runs on an RFID sensor and an Arduino board. The Arduino board is programmed using this code right here, and that runs the whole system. So when a card, like this for example, comes in proximity with the sensor, the light will turn either green or red depending on the access that it grants.
Charmed by Tafara's exploits, Erimepo International High School teacher Mr. Tipe Hove explained the significance of the project, which is in sync with government's heritage-based learning.
With what we are making here, we can even make these gadgets sellable. We can package them in a way that we can sell out to get money, even for the school and for the learners themselves.
The RFID has emerged as one of the greatest inventions for automatic data recognition and offers admirable performance over other similar devices. Karajushes, ZBC News, Zhishavane.
Some bright student there from Erimapol. Yvonne, what were you doing at the age of 13?
Well, 13, if I'm to be honest with you, I was busy memorizing songs.
Memorizing songs, she says. We'll be back shortly with Sports Bars after this.
What were you doing?
Songs, really? Bible verses? I was probably memorizing Bible verses.
You're a pastor's kid, I don't blame you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
ZBC Current Affairs, leading the conversation on local, regional and international news. We bring you the stories that shape the nation and the world, be it social trends, economic and political developments, State of the Nation addresses, independence celebrations, Heroes and Defense Forces Day commemorations, and other national events. We bring them to you as they happen. With an array of informative programming, we bring you face-to-face with the decision makers as we unpack complex issues, giving you a platform to be part of the conversation. You can choose to face the nation and combat crime while talking farming. But remember to keep your vision 2030 during this new normal, dominated by COVID Chronicles. With ZBC Current Affairs. Together, Sonke, Tese, we will track and implement NDS1 to realize a better Zimbabwe.
Did you know?
Welcome back now in our sports news. Zimbabwe's Minister of Sport, Art and Recreation, Honorable Kirsty Coventry, was inducted into the International Swimming Hall of Fame in the United States of America on Saturday.
A renowned swimming icon, Honorable Coventry's exploits in and out of the pool received yet another international recognition after she was inducted in the International Swimming Hall of Fame by the World Aquatics Board, FINA, at a colorful induction ceremony held in Fort Lauderdale in the United States. One of the most outstanding Zimbabwean sport personalities, Honorable Coventry, elevated her status on the international swimming scene after making a very successful campaign out of her second Olympics appearance in 2004 in Athens. The living legend collected a full set of medals in that Olympiad, winning gold in the 200-meter backstroke, a silver medal in the 100 backstroke, and a bronze medal in the 200 individual medley. The following year, Honorable Coventry won the silver medal in the 200-meter individual medley and 400-meter individual medley, in addition to winning titles in the 100-meter backstroke and 200-meter backstroke. Remarkably, Coventry inflicted one of the few defeats on the then world record holder Natalie Coughlin as she won in the 100-meter backstroke over back-to-back Olympic crowns in 2004 and 2008. More so, Honorable Coventry added 2 more medals at the 2007 World Championships before setting a first world record in early 2008, breaking a 16-year-old standard in the 200-meter backstroke. The outstanding feat was also recognized by the government of Zimbabwe as she was appointed the minister of the then Ministry of Youth, Sport, Art, Recreation and Culture.
Flying Zimbabwe's flag high. Kudos to you, Honorable Kirsty Coventry. Caps United have eliminated Highlanders out of the Chibuku Super Cup to set up another Harare derby in the semi-finals of the tournament.
The fierce rivalry leave to the billing, with Highlanders giving their opponents a tough time on the pitch. Although Caps United had an electric first half, which ended with the Harare Giants leading 2-0, Highlanders were stronger in the second half. Goals from Bongeni Ndlovu and Andrew Mbeba inspired a second half comeback for Highlanders to take the Chibuku Super Cup quarter-final match to penalties following a 2-2 draw in regulation time. The dreaded penalty shootout had the answers to separate the two giants, with Leonard Chukwu missing Highlanders' second penalty to give Caps the bragging rights of the tie. With one slot up for grabs in the semis, Caps were clinical with their spot kicks, converting all 5 of them as they claimed a 5-3 penalty victory to set up a clash against Dynamos in the last 4. In the early kickoff at the National Sports Stadium, Ngezi Platinum Stars marched through the last 4 after beating Herentals 5-3 on penalties following a 0-0 draw after regulation time. Ngezi Platinum Stars, who are the Premier Soccer League log leaders, were perfect in the conversion of their spot kicks to set up a semi-final clash against Black Rhinos. An intriguing cup charge battle is on the cards, with Ngezi being the only previous winner of the cup from the remnants.
Final preparations are in motion ahead of the resumption of the Futsal Northern Region Top Flight League, which is set for the 7th of this month.
Following a 7-year absence from the scene, the Northern Region Futsal League has set its sights on a return earlier this month ahead of the Africa Futsal Cup of Nations to be played in Mozambique next year. A total of 14 teams are set to battle it out across 3 venues in Harare when the league resumes on the 7th of October for the first time since Ouagadougou last won the last league championship in 2016. With the Southern Region League now in matchday 7, their Northern Region counterparts are soon to join the mix so as to name a formation formidable squad for the Futsal Africa Cup of Nations, which will also double as World Cup qualifiers.
If FIFA permits, the normalization committee will be talking with them. There are World Cup qualifiers which are going to be held in January, maybe in Mozambique, if I'm not mistaken. Zimbabwe should also go and play in those Africa Cup of Nations futsal qualifiers.
The officials are also optimistic that the league's return will offer opportunities for knowledge and tactical exchange.
I'm happy that the futsal league is coming to light again after a long break. We are just waiting from the normalizing committee at ZIFA to give us the green light to do the courses again.
Like other sporting codes, the Futsal League was affected by COVID-19, forcing the Futsal Committee to abandon the league system. There is a possibility of the Futsal team taking part in the World Cup qualifiers, and there is strong need for a competitive league to be set up.
That's it for sport, the world of arts and entertainment. Up next in Showbiz. An appreciation for Imbube was held in Bulawayo to celebrate the living and fallen legends in the genre.
Having stood the test of time, Imbube spans from Zilikazi's era when he traveled with a musical group that documented his travels in song, coming all the way down to the 21st century. The Imbube genre is deep-rooted in Ndebele culture and heritage, such that fans of the genre appreciate efforts to ensure that the genre does not go to the dust.
Umculo lo asomculo kuphela omnandi kuphela ezindlebeni. Ngomculo wethu we communicate. Ngomculo wethu we send message. Ngomculo wethu siyabelapha abanye abadabukileyo labalimeleyo.
Sizwa siziqhenya ngomculo lo ngoba uyasi-identifya thina i-culture yethu, i-tradition yethu.
Sifisa ukuthi ngabe kuyaqhubeka ukungena nasesikoleni. Abancane bekhule bewubambile lo mcimbi lo. Uqhubeke njalo nje.
Key in the celebrations was the preservation of Ndebele culture and identity.
Ukuya kwamzilikazi lapha kwelakithi kwelekamthwakazi, umzilikazi wayehamba lebutho uthiwa imbizo. Imbizo yayicula isicathama ichothoza mfana besuka ngaphetsheya. So sathathela khona apha.
Umculo wembubo ngumculo omkhulu kakhulu, ungumculo ovikela amasiko, ovikela ulimi, ovikela nje yonke into yokuba ngumuntu.
Ngokubona kwami imculo iyasibambanisa, iyasihlanganisa, iyasixwayisa, iyasikhulisa, iyasithokozisa.
Abantu asithi bezonda music abanye abantu, kodwa i-diversity yokuthi singa njengabantu emhlabeni semhlabeni.
The inaugural event was graced by Imbube groups such as Indosagusa, The Morning Star, Isizwe Simnyama, Ufasimba and Ikwezi Logusa, amongst others, with organizers saying they hope to keep the event running every year.
Afrofusion music fans converged at a local hotel this Friday where talented Afro jazz musician Beo was launching his 5th album, Nanja. Meanwhile, the Ndera superstar Solomani Chibetu left fans begging for more when he graced Bulawayo this Saturday.
A talented vocalist and guitarist, Mbeu managed to deliver a high-quality product, a trait he has maintained ever since he ventured into the music industry. The 8-track album comprises songs such as Chipo, Ndakapfumbama, Mujolo, Mavaranda, Shitsachene, and Famba Murume, which promises to be a hit, judging from the response it received from revelers. A product of Pakare Pai Art Center and Tuku's Protege, Mbeu took time to pay tribute to his mentor by performing some of the late superstar's hits. Mbeu explains the inspiration behind his latest offering.
Ndakabatanidza ndichida kumotivate mafans angu, ndichida kuchinja the lives of my fans through music.
Fellow artists held Mbeu's new project.
Vechidiki vazhinji vanofunga kuti kana uri wechidiki kuti unzi uri kuita zvechidiki unofanira kuita zvekunze kwenyika, asi Mbeu anoita zvemuno muZimbabwe.
This is my first project ndichimanager Mbeu, so I'm so happy and I'm so much honored.
Mbeu ari different nokuti aiudzwa kunzi izvo unofanira kushanda nesimba ende kunyora music kwete madhushudhushu.
Guest of honor at the event, Deputy Minister of Sport, Art and Recreation, Honorable Emily Jesaya, applauded Mbeu for his responsible lyrics.
Zvatipa mukana wekuti tigonawo kuti ma-upcoming artist edu atarise kuvanhu vakaita sana Mbeu vari kugonawo kusumuka muindustry yemusic vasingatore madrugs.
The launch was attended by various artists, media personalities who include the Queen of Talk Show, Dr. Rebecca Chisamba.
The Dendera musician, affectionately referred to as Zulu, put up a sterling show that left his Bulai fans asking for more. As his trademark live show modus operandi, Zulu fused his songs with those from his late father's albums. Performing in front of a packed and receptive crowd, Zulu was left convinced of his huge fan base in Bulawayo.
I'm so happy to be in Bulawayo this time around. After, a long time, I think COVID has been a hindrance for us not coming here. But whenever we are in Bulawayo is our second home. So I can see the fans were happy.
The Bulawayo show also gave fans an opportunity to interact with the musician.
Performance yakhe vele ihlala ingenzela kuhle, awuperforme kahle sibili.
Asikhwalise kubi sure, asikhwalise kakhulu kulo marasta.
The Vumaksara hitmaker was supported by Ras Pedi in Moonwalker. Show promoter Tapiwa Kandiwa emphasized the importance of nurturing upcoming artists.
Promoter maloko artists kuti ange vachi shina.
Well, still in the world of entertainment, Ndega Ndigone by Seinfeld ruled the roost this week on the Power FM Chat Show.
Ndega Ndigone retained pole position this week, which makes it a non-mover. On second position was another non-mover, Budget Jojo by Solo and Ndunge Youth. Holy 10 moved 13 places upwards from number 17 last week to 4th this week. The biggest climb of the week was Sem Droane Gown by Votes JT, which moved 16 places in the positive from 21st position last week to 5th this week. Last year, my one name is a combi, little town. Side of this, very fine, very fine, very bold. It wasn't a good week for Tebza the DJ's Kavalungu, which moved 3 places downwards from 3rd position last week to 6th this week. Remedy by Shashil was another non-mover on 12th position. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
It's time for the weather forecast. Up next.
Greetings, Zimbabwe. It is time for your evening weather report and forecast. My name is Benjamin Kwaramba. I hope I find you well. Well, sunny and hot conditions prevailed across the country this afternoon, as seen in the satellite images received this afternoon, which shows mostly clear skies over Zimbabwe. However, we had scattered A bit of scattered cloud here and there, especially over the central districts of the country. Meanwhile, pressure is rising over the southeast coast of South Africa and should affect our weather as we move into the forecast period. Tomorrow, we expect Matebele and South, Masvingo, southern parts of the Midlands, southern parts of Manicaland to be cloudy and windy. And we should expect some light drizzle or rain in places, while areas to the north, such as Matebele and northern parts of the Midlands, all Mashonaland provinces, including Harare, should be mostly sunny, mild at first, becoming hot by afternoon. Now for the temperatures in detail, the capital city, Harare, expect a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Kobulawayo 17 and 24, Gweru 17 and 23, 18 and 26 is expected at Mutare, Kwekwe 18 and 28, 16 and 29 at Kadoma. Masvingo 18 at first, 24 maximum, 20 and 32 at Chinoi, Lupane 16 and 36 under sunny conditions, Bindura 19 and 30, Marondera 16 and 28, Gwanda 16 and 25 degrees Celsius. For the holiday resorts, Victoria Falls, a maximum of 36, starting off 17 in the morning. Scotia at Kariba, 39 degrees Celsius expected in the afternoon. Great Zimbabwe 16 and 24. Nyanga 13 and a cool 22 by afternoon. Matopos 12 and 23. Chimani 16 and 22. Then on Tuesday, we expect the Eastern Highlands to be cloudy at first. Drizzle is expected in places, while the remainder of the country, that's Masvingo, Matebele and South, Matebele and North, the Midlands, all Mashonaland provinces, should be mostly sunny, mild at first, becoming hot by afternoon. That does it in tonight's edition of the Weather Report and Forecast. Let's make a date again tomorrow at the same time. Good evening, Zimbabwe.
Well, that's a wrap on the Sunday edition tonight. From myself, Liam Bernard.
And myself, Yvonne Kondani Noble Maungwa on the sign language desk, as well as the crew behind the scenes. Thank you for having joined us. Hopefully they join us again next week for yet another exciting edition.
Definitely. It's a date next week, same time.
But we leave you watching a video of the week, Kukutadzirai, done by Feli Nandi. Enjoy.
Good night.